and these are the scenes from Los Angeles, California. Bank of California Stadium, the site of today's matchup between LAFC and MLS newcomers Inter Miami. They're getting off the bus. Oh, I recognize that guy. David Beckham. Might have heard of him.
Bit of a handsome chap.
You know, he's very good looking. And check this out. The Inter Miami fans turning up, making their presence known at the bank. It's going to be an incredible day, a historic day for this club, and the 3252 never disappoints here at Bank of California Stadium. I am excited, so excited to be here. Welcome on into MLS Countdown Live. Susanna Collins alongside this guy, Mike Ryan. All right, I mean right off the bat.
Pink elephant in the room?
Pink elephant literally in the room. You are Miami, born and bred. You are here at their very first MLS game against LAFC. What does this feel like? What does it mean to you, Mike?
I mean, the history is all sorts of sordid. Everyone knows how difficult it's been for Beckham and his ownership group to get to this point. It feels as though they announced this a decade ago, but here they are. And no matter what happens on this pitch against MLS's best team, it's already a victory for Inter Miami that they got here.
I saw you go up and hang out with the Miami supporters.
I'm supposed to be a neutral today.
You're not hiding it very well.
It's more of a rose gold.
I'm just going to say we're going with rose gold.
It's not pink, it's rose gold.
What can we expect from Miami supporters?
These supporters clubs have been at all the commission's meetings. They have sweated this out. They have been through all the heartache, fearing that they wouldn't even have a club. They've been meeting on the weekends for 2 years. They have all their songs. They all have their percussions. It is loud. It is vibrant. It is everything that South Florida is. Their supporters clubs are a huge representation of that.
And you add in the David Beckham factor, you know, and it just takes it like up right to another level.
I mean, this is a club that has like the 4th most followers in all of MLS on social media, and they haven't even played a game.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about their opponent today. LAFC, who are coming off a historic season last year in 2019, 72 points. They win the Supporter Shield. They break the points record. Came up short in the playoffs. But for LAFC, this is a season that they are looking to make even a bigger statement than they did last year. And let's talk a little bit about what happened right here on Thursday night. CCL CONCACAF Champions League competition against Lyon. They were down 2-0 in the first leg against them, came back with a rousing 3-0 win to advance to the quarterfinals. This place was absolutely rocking, Mike. It's unbelievable scenes.
Anybody that was there will tell you it was almost the most vibrant atmosphere in MLS history. The CONCACAF Champions League, I think even if you got all the sporting directors in Liga MX together, they would tell you to really take this competition to the next level, a club like LAFC should win it. And you've seen all the interest, and we're so close to that dream semi of Club America versus LAFC.
So close. Well, Cruz Azul waits for them in the quarterfinals. And you just have to think, the thing I loved about this win, Mike, was that they were down, they were tired, they had just played, and they grinded out this win. Carlos Vela doing Carlos Vela things with the brace. And then how about Diego Rossi? With that, what did we call it? It was a chip goal.
It was more of a crass. It was a shass, a shot pass.
That's what it was. Yes.
A shass.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It went in. It went in.
And
LAFC advanced. They have obviously prioritized the Scotiabank CONCACAF Champions League, and they also want to win the MLS Cup.
Absolutely.
Supporter Shield isn't enough for this club. You talk to anybody around here, they'll tell you last year wasn't enough. Despite setting the points record, not enough.
They're on a mission. Well, another cool thing that we saw on Thursday night, I said it before, the 3252 always bring it, and this time in the form of the tifo. Just an absolutely incredible tribute to Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna, who we lost tragically last month in that helicopter accident. But this tifo was really something special. We saw Carlos Vela wearing the armband, the 824, the names of all the victims of the accident on there. It was just a really, really cool thing to do, Mike.
Yeah, obviously Kobe Bryant means so much here. And to be able to tap into what he meant to this community with that tifo, very emotional for them, and a huge supporter of soccer, as you know.
Well, speaking of tifos, I heard that you had a chance to catch up with some of the people responsible for creating these works of art. Let's see how that conversation went.
Thank you so much, Susanna. Now I'm here with Fernando and Erwin of the 3252 Supporters Club. The Kobe tifo obviously goes viral. A very touching tribute to Kobe and Gigi. Conceptually, can you guys walk me through how this came to be?
Well, as soon as we found out about the tragedy, you know, all the groups right away started communicating and shooting ideas back and forth and making up concepts, and you know, and then all the group leaders would decide and vote on which is the best concept or unite a couple different ideas, and then you know, we didn't have much time, so we just had to get to work, especially with that midweek Leon trip. And yeah, it was.
So conceptually, you have this idea. It's super touching, but you mentioned the quick turnaround. How do you guys actually produce this amazing tifo?
I mean, I think just like he said, like everybody just get together and just. To me, I think it was a must because Kobe he was LA Sports, and we had to make a tribute just to be in, especially on that game, to be on national television. It was a must.
How many people worked on the tifo?
Oh, see, well, we went through a couple different steps where you would prepare the materials, then you go about tracing it all out and getting it ready, and then a separate day for painting. So every day there's different people from each groups coming in, helping out, meet new faces. You know, so many people, it's hard to know everybody, so it's a great experience and something that I think helped heal the community a little bit, and that hole that, you know, missing out on Kobe, you know, losing him so young, just left in our hearts. You know?
No doubt, absolutely. An emotional night, not just with the tifo, but the match. What do you guys have up your sleeve? Obviously a very difficult act to follow, but it's the first game of the regular season, 25th anniversary of MLS. What do you have up your sleeves?
I mean, we just want to come out. I mean, especially with Miami being a new team, we want to show them, you know, we're 2 years in, so we want to show them, like, you know, how it is to just come in strong. And you know, unfortunately last year we came up a little short, but I think this year we had the mentality, that Kobe mentality, to come here and get it done.
Yeah. And
just show Miami that soccer it's here in the U.S. to stay.
Well, you guys obviously have an atmosphere that's pretty unrivaled throughout MLS, and we're excited to see what you guys have today.
It's beautiful.
Here at the 325-2. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
We found some friends. It is our absolute pleasure right now to be joined by the two gentlemen who will be on the call for this game, Taylor Twellman, John Champion.
We're not really friends. We're more acquaintances, right?
Taylor,
I'm talking about John and I.
It's like, wait a second. Call me out here on Twitter. Okay, so guys, LAFC coming off what was a historic season last year, 72 points. They win the Supporters Shield. Just didn't happen for them in the playoffs, Taylor. What do they need to do this year to just further their success and make even a bigger statement in the league?
It's honestly the elephant in the room, right? Because the way you played 2019 and dominated the regular season, something we've never seen in Major League Soccer's 24 years now, in the 25th year, and yet you've had 3 historic losses at home in this building where it's been dominant for you. Portland in the Open Cup, and then the last 2 playoffs. While I know they want to be better and set more records in the regular season, the truth of the matter is when August 15th comes around, Bob Bradley and his staff are going to say, wait a minute, we need to win a trophy, because the team you see today, 6 months from now and even 12 months from now, it's not going to be the same team, because 2 or 3 of those players are going to be sold.
Okay, real quick though, I want to ask about Carlos Vela, who, I mean, MVP caliber season, he wins the Golden Boot, John. How can he replicate what he did last year? Do you think he can? Is he going to be as big of a factor for LAFC?
That's the acid test, but I mean, it's not just about him, it's about how those around him play as well. So for him to repeat 34 goals and 15 assists in the regular season would seem to be improbable, but if we'd stood here a year ago and said, is Carlos Vela going to score 34 goals and have 15 assists, I'd have said probably not. Yeah. So I think he's perfectly capable. I mean, it's his birthday today, 31 today, so he's reaching that point where this is the end of his prime, if you like, this season and next maybe. So I think he's got a good chance of doing it again, or getting close to those figures.
My birthday.
Oh, stop. Can I just say, I have heard nothing for the last week but his birthday.
I mean, I saw all the pics on Twitter, John. I know, he must have been insufferable.
I'm 10, Mike.
He's a baby.
Obviously, teams like Atlanta United and LAFC, they've sort of established a new high watermark for an expansion team, and expectations might be a little bit unreasonable, especially when you have an owner like David Beckham. Taylor, what is a successful season for Inter Miami?
Well, they better make the playoffs. It's playoffs or bust. In a large part because Paul McDonough and the way he's built this team, he's left 2 spots open, right? So if it's May 1st, June 1st, July 1st, whenever it may be, those are going to be 2 big parts of changing this team. The way I look at the Eastern Conference, Michael, Susanna and John, they better make the playoffs. You go out and get Diego Alonso. He's had success as a manager. You go out and get Pizarro. He's been good as a player, but he can't have the peaks and valleys that he's had throughout his career. He's got to be a key guy. But they're going to sign 2 big names, whether it's what Miami's, what Florida, it's not going to be Neymar, but there are going to be 2 big names that all of a sudden you're going to look at. No,
it's going to be Ronaldo.
Not yet.
It's going to be Ronaldo.
Not yet.
Everyone knows that.
But I think they make the playoffs, Michael. I think they should as well.
Excellent. John, you've called several matches around the world. Can you put into perspective this atmosphere here at this stadium with this club?
It's magnificently vibrant here. There's just such a life and an energy to it. And I tell you the other thing that strikes me about this place, and I've never seen a dull game here, which is a good portent for today, is that it's such a mixture of the European soccer culture and the South American and indeed North American soccer culture, which is probably a fusion of the two anyway. And I was here the other night with Taylor for the CONCACAF Champions League game. We sat up top on those seats right above the 32-52, watching all the spectators throwing beer at each other.
We paid for our beer, by the way.
We paid.
There was not free beers
well
up
made.
there.
But to me, it's just, you could walk in here, you could be in Argentina, you could be in Spain, and I think that's fantastic.
Well, they also had an incredible amount of traveling fans for their first leg in Mexico. I mean, the 32-52 are just bringing it every single game.
Some of them have driven. They didn't get a flight, they drove. We saw their vehicle yesterday, Florida plates, and Inter Miami club badge on the back of the car.
It was a nice white car right in front of us that had an Inter Miami sticker on it and Florida plates. And John and I looked at each other like,
what?
There's no way they drove here. But then we asked a few people at Inter Miami, and they're like, we think a few of them drove.
Why not?
They left in October, but they got here.
Why not? Well, in terms of what we are going to see, style of play today, what are you expecting, John, from Miami? I know Diego Alonso is typically a high-pressing kind of guy. Do you think we're going to see more of that with this Miami team?
It's fascinating because several people well connected to Mexican football have come up to Taylor and I today and said, we're interested to hear Diego's comments about this is going to be the style, it's going to be attractive football. You have to realize he is almost the Jose Mourinho of Mexican club football these past few years in terms of the pragmatic nature of the style. So maybe he's a transformed man. Maybe he's had some sort of second coming and it's going to be a different approach from now on. But in my experience, football managers are leopards that don't change their spots very easily.
You guys were here for that emotional match in the Champions League. It's a quick turnaround for LAFC, an emotional match, a prime letdown spot for Inter Miami to take advantage of?
Well, in all seriousness, Michael, that's what's hurt them in the playoffs. When I talk about those 3 monumental losses here at home, they've had those moments, right? And they've had games before. And LA, one of the best playoff games we've ever seen. Seattle comes here and beats them. The first 15 minutes is most important for Miami. Diego Alonso has said they're going to press, they're going to get after. If you do that in the first 15, you give up a goal, you're going to have a long road ahead. If you get to the 25th, 30th minute, then I think Inter Miami could surprise some people and get a result.
Taylor Twellman, John Champion on the call.
Okay,
we have a bit of a parting gift for you.
Birthday boy. It's the 25th MLS season, so we're doing a little look back on some of the 90s fashions, and I just got to say, the frosted tips.
By the way, that's natural. I've never touched my hair.
I don't believe it for a second. What about you, John?
That's
never.
It's not
That's a
exactly
9.5 size
Okay.
melon, by the way.
That's
It's
fine.
not exactly Landon.
I'm just going to put it in his commentary position so he's looking. He loves looking at himself anyway, so that'll be perfect.
Turned around.
Perfect. You guys, thank you so much
Have
for
fun.
joining us.
It's good to have both of you on board.
Thank you. Oh, man. Mike, never a dull moment with those two.
Not at all.
So
we're
much
expecting,
fun.
We're going to be joined now by Inter Miami's first captain, Luis Robles.
Luis Robles!
Yeah, absolutely.
Hand him a mic.
We're in the goalkeeper club.
It's a big deal.
Now, Luis, I've heard David Beckham speak about you. He says you have a presence, you have an aura. When you step into a room, you command the room, and it made you a natural pick to be the first captain in Inter Miami's history. David Beckham complimenting someone else on their aura? I mean, rooms stop when he enters a room, and he is complimenting you and your presence. What does it mean for you to be the first captain of Inter Miami?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a guy that is as famous as they come, right? And for him to say that, that's really humbling. But he also might just be surprised at how old his goalkeeper is. So maybe that's he's a nice way of saying that. But nonetheless, I'm very proud and honored to be the captain. And we got some great leaders on this team, and it's those leaders that we're really going to count on throughout the season, not just today in this moment, but throughout the season, and that's the way that we're going to navigate in order to be successful.
Luis, you've had such a storied career with the New York Red Bulls. Now you're a part of this expansion side in Miami. What's that transition been like for you?
It's been a little clunky at times. It's been emotional at times, but nonetheless, when I think about my time at the New York Red Bulls, I'm eternally grateful for that organization, the way that they embraced me. They allowed me to continue my career, and I'll always think about that time fondly. But now as we start the next chapter, I'm also really excited. My family's excited. There's some big things happening here in South Florida, and even though there's a lot of lead up to this game, I keep reminding the guys, I know it's history, but remember, it's just a game. It's the same game we've been playing our entire lives.
Great message. Luis, thank you so much for the time. We'll let you get back out there. Get ready you got a match to play.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for the time.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
It's easy to lose sight of that. Luis Robles. I mean, piercing eyes.
He's a legend.
Piercing eyes.
Right?
Incredible.
Looks right through you.
You can see why David Beckham had
Looks
so many
right
good things
through
to
you.
say.
All right, well guys, if you didn't pay attention yesterday, the MLS 25th season kicked off on Saturday, so we're going to get you caught up on some of the action that you might have missed. And one of the biggest matchups, Mike, that people were so excited about, the arrival of this guy, Javier Hernandez Chicharito.
Obviously a sold-out stadium in Houston,
God.
hoping to catch a glimpse of Chicharito, do something special, and I mean, not the greatest of debuts. Fewest touches in the starting 11 for LA Galaxy.
Okay, but how about this? Nashville SC, the other expansion team entering MLS play this season, it was a party, and how about that? Walker Zimmerman, former LAFC center back, scores the first ever goal for this club. We saw a little Soccer Moses in the stand as well.
Yes, Sozas, Soccer Moses. Inter Miami stealing the headlines, but that is an amazing atmosphere over there in Nashville.
I know, exactly. Well, this is some pretty upsetting news coming from this game. Joseph Martinez in the second half goes down with an injury. He would leave this game, apparently left the stadium on crutches. We're still awaiting his status, but this is a huge blow for Atlanta.
One of the biggest stars in MLS, and obviously they got Club America in the next round of the Champions League. They also have their sights set on Champions League. Devastating injury if it's serious.
Absolutely. Well, now, let's take a look. What are we looking at right now? The teams. Nashville fans, here we go. Oh my gosh, all right. So we saw some pretty amazing signs from the supporters.
Yes, incredible.
I mean, like,
Let my people go. There is Soccer Moses in all his glory.
MLS fans are, they always bring it. They're always original, but Soccer Moses is right up there for me.
60,000 people in Nashville Stadium. They have a Gibson guitar playing in the pregame.
The guitar riff was
They actually
really cool.
press a live vinyl for the MVP of the game. It's incredible.
Okay, so we need a translator for this one. But basically, this is a really sick burn from the Montreal fans to the New England fans. Your syrup is weak.
Oh, they're feeling that one in Vermont.
Your syrup is weak. Your maple syrup is weak. I mean, that's a low blow.
It's a low blow, but what a start for Thierry Henry and Montreal
my gosh,
Impact.
Right? And how about this tifo at Orlando City? I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure what it was at first. I had to kind of take a closer look, and then I realized it was the Wolf of Wall Street.
Kind of a bizarre self-own by the Orlando City fans, sort of touting how supportive they've been through all the losses, all the owners, all the missed playoff appearances. You know, as a accused Inter Miami fan, I'm kind of happy with Orlando City and where they stand in the whole table. So
I get it. I get it.
I mean, they're owning themselves.
I appreciate it. I think self-awareness is always a good thing. Okay, this is going to be a fun little segment, Mike. We're going to call this one That's Cheeky, because we saw some cheeky plays across the league, and we are going to start with this cheeky play from one Christian Pavone. Okay, check this out. That's David Bingham, goalkeeper, with the assist, and then Christian Pavone just, just jukes the two defenders, scores a banger. You'll love to see it.
My weekly MLS fantasy contest certainly felt this Pavone goal. And you're telling me this goalkeeper does this all the time, makes that commonplace.
Gotta love a goalkeeper assist. Oh, this is one Maxi Arruti of Montreal. I mean, it doesn't get cheekier than that.
I mean, you want to talk about a fantasy performance. He certainly put one in. Unbelievable.
The goal celebration. It's one of my
incredible goal
favorites.
celebration. MLS sort of went viral with all their tremendous goals, and we're off to a roaring start.
Absolutely love it. All right, so this one, oh my gosh, we saw some drama We saw some drama all weekend in this one. Oswaldo Alanis with the free kick equalizer in stoppage time against Toronto. I mean, you can't strike it better.
Yes, many have pegged that team as a surprise team in MLS, and they're off to an amazing start. That's a huge result over TFC.
Unbelievable. And then we've got this one from Emerson Hindman. Check this one out. He assisted himself.
Yeah, incredible.
Off the chest, past the diving keeper.
A keeper that got away with a handball in the middle of the field.
That ended up being the game winner for this one. And then we've got moved along to Sporting Kansas City. A little spin move here.
Oh, incredible.
So pretty. Just a banger.
You know, what went viral from that game was really what the manager said off mic.
We can't really show that.
We can't really show that,
but you guys should
this
look
goal
it
will
up
suffice.
If you want a good chuckle, this is some really good stuff. Oh, MLS is back. I'm so excited. So happy. Okay, so we're gonna do another fun segment here. Mike,
I'm
are
having
you ready?
more fun.
Are
It's
you
impossible to
ready for
have
this? Okay.
more fun.
So we have props for this one. This is called Yellow or Red. And as we mentioned, this is the 25th season of MLS, so we thought it would be fun here to kind of take a look back at some memories from this. And one of the things that we used to see back in '96, the old school MLS shootouts where the guys would run up. I mean, it's crazy.
I actually did this, and it's really difficult. In my weekly soccer match down in Kendall, like, we run at each other.
Are you here for it, though? What do you think, red or yellow?
Play on for me. I kind of dig it. Make that like the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
I think I'm into
Like,
it.
let's keep it around.
I'm going to give that a yellow. I'm going to give that a solid yellow.
Play on for me.
That's got to be rough on the keepers, man, right?
Especially with all that AstroTurf that they were playing on back in the day.
Oh,
all the
gosh.
scratch marks. Actually, yeah. No, it's a yellow just because of the AstroTurf.
Yellow card. What do we give that? We gave that one a yellow?
Yellow. Collected yellow on the AstroTurf.
Yellow. Bring them back. All right, what else are we talking about? How about some hairstyles? How about some hairstyles? Because I love soccer hair. It's like a thing that I talk about all the time.
When you talk about,
he's like the OG.
When you talk about lids, Alexi Lawless is like all-time GOAT lid. I really love that kit too that he is
That's
wearing.
a pretty sweet Revs kit.
Yeah,
I agree.
Am I supposed to give this a yellow
I know.
or red?
I'm giving. You know what? I'm probably
Play
going
on
to
for
give
me.
all these
Okay, now
yellows.
this is
I don't
problematic.
know about this one.
It's
I don't know about
problematic.
this one.
It's like, is he a member of a shoegaze band in the United
looks
Kingdom?
like a band member from like the 60s.
Yeah.
Like, it looks way more.
This is apparently from the 1990s,
Yeah.
and he looks like he's from
I
the
don't
1960s.
know about that one. Oh, how about this look though? Do you know what I like? I like the baggy shirt and like the higher short combo here too.
High shorts, but also baggy. One of the better rebrands, I think, in MLS history. Metro Stars wasn't really doing it for me.
Oh, I love this guy, Marcelo Balboa, another OG. Always rocked the long hair. He still rocks the ponytail. I mean, that's just a solid soccer look, right?
Yeah, and he's got the same leave-in conditioner that Carlos Vela has.
Carlos Vela, best hair. Oh gosh, the mullet.
Oh,
the mullet.
Oh my God.
I mean, I am here all day for a good soccer mullet. Like,
Yeah.
I give it to me, inject it into my veins. I will never ever get tired of it.
Kobe Jones. Obviously
with the
iconic.
dreads, LA Galaxy legend. I mean, it's so iconic, right?
Yeah, it is an amazing hairstyle. It is instantly recognizable. Kobe Jones, one of the great stars in Los Angeles football history. But this is where this game gets blown out of the water. I'm a little disappointed he's not wearing a Fusion jersey because what the heck is a mutiny anyways? I don't even know what that means. I know what it means, but it doesn't even. Why is there a bat on the crest? It doesn't. I prefer his look when it's ironed. Oh, Andrew, shoot. All right, so this is a straight red.
Okay, I did not know this though. He apparently played a handful of games for the Galaxy?
From
Andrew
Melrose
Shue
Place.
of Melrose Place fame. I believe his name was Billy. I can't really remember, but wow, that looks like a stock photo.
Yeah, that's a straight red for me too, because that bone structure is certainly against some kind of rule. It's not fair.
Yeah, it's offensive. Do you think that we could just kind of superimpose Andrew Shue's face over?
Why weren't all the photos
all of
Andrew
those
Shue?
guys?
I'm
not
a little
mad
upset
at
by
that.
that.
I am really not mad at that.
Filing a formal
at all.
complaint that we
Oh,
waited
that
this
was
long to
fun.
get to Andrew Shue.
That's a good look.
Not really sure what the Galaxy were going with that original color scheme too. Probably a good upgrade in terms of branding.
Do you know what I love? The old school Kansas City when they were the Wizards.
Oh, the Wiz.
The rainbow.
Yeah, that one. And Sporting Kansas City have beautiful kits this season.
Oh, they
you were
do.
at the kit unveiling.
Well, speaking of which, yes, there was an incredible event last month in New York, the Forward 25 event presented by Adidas, where they unveiled all of the new kits for this season. They had some celebrities walking the catwalk. It was such a cool event. You guys should check it out.
New York City is known for its high buildings and high fashion, and nothing, trust me, nothing screams high fashion like random celebrities in Major League Soccer uniforms. Now, when MLS launched back in 1996, the kits looked like this. Let's get inside, out of the cold, and see how much has changed in the last 25 years. Soccer uniform's way more wearable than any other uniform, right?
Oh yeah, of course. I've always wore soccer jerseys just to hang out in. So maybe one day if our jerseys weren't so tight, and big, they could probably wear ours.
You did something with your hands. Why don't you explain what that was?
That's a 32-52. That's the best fans in the MLS, in my humble opinion. Always screaming, always dancing for the mighty, mighty LAFC, so I wanted to give a little something special for them.
Tell me about the outfit. What you like about it?
Well, first of all, it's gold. So a guy like myself, where a lot of my money has been made off of gold, whenever you jump into the world of gold, you should call Trinidad James, and I'll come out.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit offended that they didn't ask me to model any of these kits, but they did a pretty darn good job. And there's some sick looking kits this season.
Yeah,
Mike.
well, I mean, the real star of the show was the Target dog, no doubt. A falcon just flew over my head.
Oh, okay, so if you guys have never been to a game at Bank of California Stadium, they have a falcon that flies out before the game. They get a celebrity falconer to do it, and this thing comes dangerously close to the fans. I'm always afraid it's going to
Someone who has, I'm not going to say a fear, but a healthy respect of birds.
You're not a real bird guy, huh?
Yeah, I would have appreciated the heads up that it was actually flying overhead.
I don't know where it is right now.
Yeah.
I think we're okay.
It's a very, not that, MLS is certainly its own thing, and you sort of want to stay away from European comparisons, but this is as good of an atmosphere that I've ever sort of witnessed for an American soccer game.
I can tell you, for a team that is, still new to the league, relatively new, the supporter culture that they have been able to establish here is second to none. It's unbelievable. You have been at matches in Europe. I've been at matches in Europe. It measures up to all of that. It's so special that Miami gets to kick off here.
Yeah, welcome to the league.
That you get to experience this. I mean, just wait till that supporter section gets rocking.
Yeah.
It is something else.
Yeah, LAFC, for as tremendous as they were last year, the team that enters into this match with most of the headlines, most of the eyes across the globe are Inter Miami. I'm sure that irks LAFC a little bit, considering the point total they put up last year. Is a message going to be sent today, or can Inter Miami shoot a message of their own to the MLS that the hype is real?
Well, it's important for both teams, right? There's a lot on the line for both teams today. And I think that especially coming off that huge CCL victory on Thursday, LAFC are going to be feeling themselves a little bit. I was really concerned after leg one in that. I was like, they don't look like the same team. Defensively, I was a little bit nervous. You get rid of Walker Zimmerman, a solid center back. It's hard to replace a guy like that. But they seem to find their identity again. And I feel like they are going to bring it today. And I cannot wait to see what Miami is, what they are going to be, who this Inter Miami team is.
Well, you mentioned identity. Now the time for talk is over. Beckham, yes, we all know the glitz and the glamour. Now what kind of team is Diego Alonso putting out? What kind of style can they hang with LAFC? Tune into ESPN to find out.
I mean, that's the best place to do it. I think, all right, before we go, I want to get a prediction from you. I'm putting you on the spot right now.
2-1 LAFC.
Oh.
2-1 LAFC.
Did it hurt a little bit saying it?
A little bit, but we're here. We won already.
Oh, we did win already. And by the way, the outfit is killer.
Rose gold.
Absolutely killer. David Beckham's going to be jealous of this. You guys, thank you so much for joining us today. please turn it on over to ESPN for LAFC against Miami. Enjoy the soccer. We'll see you guys soon.